Okay, so you want to own a commercial gym. You find a massive empty warehouse in a decent suburban retail park, sign a commercial lease, put down some rubber flooring, buy a bunch of treadmills and dumbbells, and watch the monthly subscription money roll in. Sounds straightforward enough. Maybe you've stood in a crowded gym at 6 p.m. on a Monday, looked around at 300 people sweating, and done a quick calculation in your head. 5,000 members, paying $50 a month each. That's $250,000 a month in recurring revenue. $3 million a year for letting people lift heavy things and put them back down. You think to yourself, this is the greatest cash flow business in the world. It is not that simple. And by the time we are done here, you are going to understand exactly why most independent gym owners are trapped in a financial nightmare, working 8 0-hour weeks just to avoid default. Let's start with what it actually costs to build one of these facilities. Because most people, when they think about gym costs, think about the weights and the cardio machines, the shiny things on the floor. What they don't think about is the commercial-grade HVAC systems, the three-phase electrical upgrades, the acoustic subflooring, the industrial plumbing for the locker rooms, the liability insurance premiums, and the specialized architectural build-out that your landlord is going to make you fund as a condition of getting planning permission and signing the lease. Let's look at a standard 20,000 square foot commercial gym space. Before a single dumbbell is ordered, you have to prepare the building. Gyms generate a massive amount of heat, sweat, and moisture. A standard retail, you need a specialized, high-tonnage commercial HVAC system capable of turning over the air volume of the entire facility multiple times an hour to prevent mold growth and stop the permanent smell of body odor from embedding itself in the drywall. That system alone, fully engineered with customized ductwork, can cost between $150,000 and $250,000. Then there is the structural engineering and flooring. If you are opening on a second floor or above another retail tenant, you cannot just lay down rubber mats. You have to install multi-layered acoustic and shock-absorbing subfloors. You need to engineer the floor to absorb the kinetic energy of a 500-pound deadlift being dropped without cracking the concrete foundation or triggering a lawsuit from the office workers directly beneath you. The engineering and materials for this can easily run into the hundreds of thousands. Next, you move to the locker rooms. You aren't just putting in a few toilets and sinks. You are building a commercial bathhouse that will be used hundreds of times a day. You need high-capacity commercial water heaters, waterproofed subflooring, specialized drainage systems, high-powered ventilation, and industrial-grade non-slip tiling. A high-end locker room build-out with saunas or steam rooms easily crosses the $350,000 mark, and you still haven't made a single dollar. Finally, you get to the equipment. And this is where the sticker shock truly sets in. A commercial treadmill, not the one you buy on Amazon for your garage, but a machine designed to be run on by people of all sizes for 14 hours a day, costs anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 per unit. A standard commercial gym needs at least 20 of them. That's $250,000 just for the privilege of letting your members run in place. Add in the selectorized weight machines, the squat racks, the cable crossovers, the specialized barbells, and literally tons of urethane-coated plates. To fully outfit a 20,000 square foot facility with mid to high tier commercial equipment from brands like Life Fitness or Hammer Strength, you are looking at an equipment bill ranging from $800,000 to $1.2 million. None of this is optional if you want to compete with the major franchise chains down the street. So, by the time you cut the ribbon, before a single membership has been sold, before a single scoop of pre-workout has been mixed, you have spent somewhere between $1.5 million and $2.5 million. And that is just to unlock the front doors. Now let's talk about how you paid for it. Because almost nobody writes a check for $2 million out of pocket to open a neighborhood gym. You put in whatever direct equity you have, life savings, remortgaging your house, money from friends and family, or pre-sales of memberships. Then you borrow the rest. The borrowing usually comes in two main forms: SBA Small Business Administration loans to cover the construction build-out, and equipment leasing agreements for the machinery. And here is the brutal reality of gym equipment. It is a rapidly depreciating asset that takes physical abuse every single day. If you finance $1 million worth of equipment over 5 years at an 8% interest rate, your monthly equipment payment is roughly $20,200 every single month, rain or shine, global pandemic or booming economy. And at the end of those 5 years, the equipment is practically worthless. The upholstery is torn, the cables are frayed, the treadmill motors are burning out, and the screen technology on the cardio decks is hopelessly outdated compared to the new gym that just opened 2 miles away. You don't have an asset to sell. You have a liability to replace. You have to start the debt cycle all over again just to keep the gym looking modern. And let's look at the interest rate environment. If you opened your gym in 2019, you might have locked in borrowing costs at 4%. Your annual interest bill is manageable. But if you are trying to do the exact same thing today, commercial financing might cost you 9% or 10%. That difference is not cosmetic. It is the difference between a business that can breathe, build a cash reserve, and survive a bad quarter, and a business that is constantly gasping for air. All right, the gym is built, the equipment is leased, the debt is in place. Now, you have to make enough money to justify all of it. Let's look back at that mental math. 5,000 members at $50 a month, $3 million a year in gross revenue. But here is the first thing most people get wrong about fitness economics. Revenue is not profit. Every single dollar of that membership money has a massive operational cost attached to it. On a normal day, you are paying for front desk staff from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. You are paying for a constant rotation of cleaning crews who are fighting a never-ending war against sweat, chalk, dust, and the very real threat of staph infections spreading across hundreds of touch points. You are paying for specialized equipment maintenance contracts. Because when a cable snaps on a lat pull-down machine or a treadmill belt tears, you can't just leave an out-of-order sign on it for 3 weeks. Your members will instantly compare your facility to corporate chains, and if the product looks cheap, they will cancel. You have to pay technicians hundreds of dollars an hour to fix them immediately. Then there are the utilities. A commercial gym consumes electricity at a terrifying rate. Every high bay LED light, the heavy-duty HVAC running at maximum capacity to cool a 20,000 square foot room full of sweating bodies, the televisions, the sound system, and those massive commercial water heaters firing all day long. A busy facility can easily burn through $8,000 to $12,000 a month just in electricity and water. But here is the darkest, most closely guarded secret of the fitness industry. It is the fundamental flaw in the business model. If every single member who pays you actually shows up to use the facility, you will go bankrupt within a week. A traditional commercial gym is mathematically designed to be massively oversold. A facility that can safely hold 300 people at a time might have 6,000 active paying members. The entire financial model relies on a concept called the ghost member, people who sign up on January 1st as a New Year's resolution, set up an automatic credit card payment, stop coming by February 15th, but are too guilty, too busy, or too lazy to actually cancel their subscription. Industry data shows that in standard commercial gyms, up to 67% of paying members never walk through the doors. They are the perfect customer. They represent pure profit. They generate zero wear and tear on the equipment. They use 0 gallons of water in the showers, and they take up 0 square feet on the floor. But you cannot control human behavior. Welcome to the concept of the churn rate. The average annual churn rate for a commercial gym is around 30% to 40%. In highly competitive urban areas, it can hit 50%. That means if you start the year with 5,000 members, you will lose 2,000 of them by December. Think about the gravity of that math. Just to keep your revenue flat, not to grow, just to survive and make your loan payments, you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, Google marketing, lead generation, and sales commissions to acquire 2,000 brand new members every single year. You are running on a financial treadmill that never stops and only speeds up. This brings us to what actually generates serious, sustainable cash flow in a modern gym. Most people think a gym is a place where people pay a monthly fee to access weights. That is true for 80% of your members. And that 80% barely keeps the lights on. The real money, the profit that actually makes you rich, lies in the premium tier. Much like the luxury VIP suites in a football stadium, a tiny fraction of your gym's floor space and clientele generates an outsized portion of your net profit. I am talking about personal training. When a member pays $50 a month for access, your profit margins are razor thin after utilities, rent, and staff. But when that same member pays $80 to $120 for a single hour of personal training, the economics shift completely. In a well-managed facility, the gym takes a 40% to 60% cut of every personal training session. If you have a team of 12 trainers, each conducting 5 sessions a day, that is 60 sessions a day. At a $50 cut per session, that is $3,000 in gross profit per day, $90,000 a month in high-margin revenue that requires 0 additional square footage and 0 extra equipment. It is an entirely separate, highly predictable cash flow engine operating inside your building. And the ancillary spending does not stop there. Let's talk about retail. If you only sell access to machinery, you are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Serious gym goers need nutrition. When you set up a retail front, selling tubs of mass gainer for members focused on building a balanced, muscular physique, premium whey protein, pre-workouts, energy drinks, and branded apparel, you capture money they were going to spend anyway. A standard $80 tub of protein sold at the front desk might carry a 35% retail margin. Capturing the ancillary spend of a member who is highly invested in their physical appearance is what separates surviving gyms from thriving ones. But we need to talk about what happens to your building in the long term, because this is where the modern gym model separates the winners from the losers. After 3 to 5 years, a brutal reality will knock on your office door: the capital expenditure cycle. Unlike prime real estate, which tends to appreciate, your gym equipment is dying a little bit every day. Treadmill motors burn out. Upholstery is destroyed by acidic sweat. Screens break. At the 5-year mark, you will face a massive upgrade cycle that could cost $300,000 to $500,000 just to keep the gym from looking dilapidated. And right around this time, your initial commercial lease will come up for renewal. Commercial landlords are not stupid. They know you have invested over $1 million into hard infrastructure, the HVAC, the flooring, the locker rooms that is permanently bolted to their building. They know you cannot simply pack up and move a 20,000 square foot gym across the street. You are trapped. So, they raise your rent by 15% to 20%. Let's talk specifically about your debt and what happens when the money stops flowing. Gyms are financed with long-term commercial loans governed by strict legal contracts called debt covenants. These covenants require you, the borrower, to maintain specific financial health ratios. The most common is the debt service coverage ratio, or DSCR. In plain English, this means your operating cash flow must remain at a certain multiple above your annual debt repayments. If a massive discount chain like Planet Fitness opens a mile away and your membership revenue dips below that threshold, the lender can legally classify you as being in technical default. They can step up your interest rate by 2% to 3%, restrict your ability to take on new loans, or in extreme cases, demand immediate repayment of the entire outstanding balance. Here is what the economics actually look like when they work and when they don't. The optimistic scenario. Your gym is in a dense, affluent suburb. You have 4,500 members. You keep your churn rate low at 25% by building a strong community. Your personal training department sells 3,000 sessions a month. Your retail and recovery zones, saunas, and cold plunges are booked solid. Annual membership revenue, $2.7 million. PT and retail revenue, $1.5 million. Total revenu, $4, $2 millions. Operating costs, rent, and debt service take up $3 million. You net $1.2 million a year. It is a beautiful, wealth-generating machine. You pay down your construction debt early and leverage your success to open a second location. The realistic scenario. Your facility faces intense price wars. A competitor runs a first 3 months free promotion. Your churn rate spikes to 45%. Your sales team has to heavily discount memberships just to close deals, evaporating your margins. Winter hits, and heating that massive space pushes your utility bill up an extra $3,000 a month. 3 treadmills blow their motors, and the warranty company refuses to cover it, citing natural wear and tear. You lose $25,000 replacing them instantly. Your cash flow drops, you breach your debt covenant, and your interest rate steps up. The difference between a good year and a bad year in the gym business is not $30,000. It can be $400,000. It can take you from a comfortable profit to fighting off bankruptcy in less than 8 months. That razor-thin gap is what fitness finance is actually about. The smartest operators in this business figured out something fundamental. The goal is not to own a room full of iron. The goal is to own a commercial ecosystem where fitness is just the anchor. The highest performing clubs in the world don't sell access, they sell identity. They integrate co-working spaces, medical spas, physical therapy clinics, and premium networking lounges. They turn their facility into a place where a member spends 4 hours a day, not 45 minutes. The gyms that fail are the ones built as concrete boxes with seats pointed at a mirror, attempting to compete purely on the price of a monthly subscription while carrying a debt obligation that ticks every single day of the year, regardless of whether a customer walks through the door. So, if you do decide to sign that commercial lease and build a gym, here is what you need to understand. You are not buying a health and wellness business. You are not getting paid to hang around a fitness environment. You are operating a high risk commercial real estate arbitrage play. You are leasing square footage at wholesale prices, filling it with rapidly depreciating heavy machinery, and attempting to sublease that exact same space to thousands of individuals at retail prices, placing a multi-million dollar bet that the vast majority of them will never show up. Get the math right. Optimize your personal training tier and control your churn. And the gym is a machine that prints money. Get it wrong, underestimate the equipment depreciation, or lose the marketing war to the club down the street, and you will find yourself locked in a 10-year commercial lease, paying 9% interest on a room full of broken treadmills that nobody wants to use. The heaviest lifting in the fitness industry? That doesn't happen on the gym floor. That happens in the back office, when the owner looks at the balance sheet.